You'll need to do differential correction for your field collected points, and we'll do this through GPS Pathfinder Office. Once you've downloaded your data using data transfer, in the utilities we can choose to differentially correct our data. Now it'll open this differential correction wizard, and we will navigate to the place we've located our files. In this case, I have my example directory, and select the files that we want to differentially correct. Now, I have a bunch of files in here. If you haven't worked with the files before, they'll often be highlighted automatically, but either way you can navigate to and select the file. So these are the SSF files, the native files that the Trimble field logger records. And I identify the ones I want to differentially correct, in this case these two. And going on to next, it asks what kind of processing. I do automatic carrier and code processing. It'll do carrier preferentially. If there's code that's better than carrier, it will do that and substitute. It'll pick the best of the solutions. The correction settings, I'm going to output only corrected positions. I don't want it to save the uncorrected. It'll do some smart filtering and other stuff that I'm fine with. Now I have to select my base station. In this case, it automatically goes to the cores in Oakdale. That's the last one I use, but I can go ahead and decide or select a different base station if I want. If I'm having problems with one of the base stations, sometimes the data aren't any good, or you're having trouble correcting, so you might want to search through the list or pick a different one for some reason. I'm fine with that Oakdale base station, so I hit next. Oh, I forgot one thing. You want it to use the reference position from the base provider. Now I could add a reference position into base files, but it actually looks up on the metadata for this and uses the reference position for the base. And I could go ahead and select a different base in that case, but I'm going to use my cores Oakdale, the information there. So I'll start to output the data to the project folder and create a unique file name based on the input file name for the output files. Now, this is running through this pretty quickly because I downloaded a portion of the data before, but it goes through and gets the data from the processor here and downloads it. That sometimes takes up to a few minutes depending on how long I collected data and how hard it is to negotiate the web and how much traffic there is. It says that, okay, I got these files. There's coverage in those files that in this case is 100% overlapping with the data that I collected. It does the differential correction. It tells you that, okay, there's no carrier data and some other things about the number of calculations. Here it says it couldn't collect 7 of my 1,524 positions. Now that's a lot of positions. Usually there's 300, but a few don't correct. It finishes its differential correction and tells you how many of them it thinks are at whatever level of accuracy. Here it seems it thinks most of them are between 15 and, not most of them, about half of them are between 15 and 50, and then about half of them are between 2 and 5 meter. It's just a guess at the accuracy. So I'll say close, and I've then done my differential correction. Now I can go ahead and verify that there is that differential correction that's been completed by navigating here to my C drive. I'll show you. And in the C drive, in my temp, in my example directory, I have all the data that I've been working with. And in this case, there's the original data that I had, this R9011 and this other R. And then there's the differentially corrected, this Trimble corrected data. So it shows that it has these corrected data. So I can follow and make sure that my input are there and the corrected data there. It also provides text documents on how the correction took place. So I can take a look and it gives me all the information. So I can save those data also. Now that the data are differentially corrected, I'll want to export, and that's covered in another video.